Okay, so I'm sure everybody's hungry. How many people here like steak? I know I'm one of those people. Unfortunately, we're not serving that tonight. But everybody here, especially the males in our family, all make really good steak, although I have to admit that I'm a big fan of the Outback Steakhouse. Since I love steak so much, I always make too much or order too much. So what do you do with the leftovers? You could microwave them, but microwave generally makes the steak hard or gummy or just plain gross. It generally overcooks things. I think the worst thing you can put in the microwave is a bagel. It becomes a crouton or Play-Doh. So those are pretty much your options. Well, pretty much what we're doing to our Earth right now is, with our atmosphere, we're putting ourselves in a microwave and we're overheating our Earth. So what can we do about it? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to become educated about the situation and what you can do to affect it. I'm talking about small changes today, not big changes. I'm not saying go sell your car and drive your bike 50 miles to work, because that's kind of crazy. But there are small changes we can make in our everyday life. But before we talk about changes, let's talk about what global warming is for anybody who may not know. Global warming is an average increase in temperature, and that happens from the sun. The sun's rays heat the Earth's surface, and then the Earth's surface then radiates heat out into space. While not all of it gets caught into space, greenhouse gases are responsible for trapping some of that heat, which is great for tropical climates. There are 6 main greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to read these cards because the words are really hard. So, hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, sulfur hexafluoride, the next ones are easier, nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, and methane, which is about 20 times more potent than carbon dioxide. So, obviously Ben's upset by these staggering facts. So does that really affect our Earth? Does it really affect everyday living? Well, here are some facts that may shock you. The World Meteorological Organization said in May of 2003 there were 562 tornadoes. The last standing record we had was in 1992 with 399 tornadoes. Now, those are both really big numbers, so let's break it down. That is 163 difference, which is a 40% increase in 11 years. That is a huge number in a very short amount of time, and Ben is upset by that. World Wildlife Fund said in 2005 there were 26 named storms, and 14 of those were hurricanes. And even though hurricane season normally ends in November, Hurricane Epsilon was still raging in December, so hurricane season is now lasting longer. And Lisa Matney of the World Watch News says that rapid glacial melting can cause severe flooding and has been a factor in severe weather increase. So those are pretty big facts, and those affect us globally. But what about in Cincinnati? Let's make it personal. The World Climate website said that the estimated temperature increase in Cincinnati, Ohio was 5.4 to 9 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's a pretty big difference. So this dry, hot summer that we've had, yeah, we can brush it off our shoulders, and this mild winter that we had, we can brush it off our shoulders, but the facts say that there's been a big temperature increase, and that could be a cause as to why we've had those temperature differences over the past couple of years. Okay, so now we know that global warming affects us globally, it affects us in Cincinnati, so what are we going to do about it? Well, the facts are staggering and it can be overwhelming, but there are small changes that you can make in your everyday living that can affect the path that we're choosing to go on right now. There are several organizations in Cincinnati that are available to teach you about global warming and other environmental issues and give you tips on how to make your house or your personal life green. 3 examples of that are the Greater Cincinnati Earth Coalition, Cincinnati Earth Institute, Greater Cincinnati Environmental Educators. So those are the 3 organizations I picked. Since we're talking about global warming today, let's talk about what we can do to affect air pollution. And the biggest thing we can affect there is how we run our cars. And my mom is always getting on me for car maintenance. So checking air pressure in your tires, which I know Dad brought up to us this winter, That'll help your fuel economy. Not this dad, that dad. That'll help your fuel economy. It'll make your car run better, get better gas mileage, which also is great for emissions. So the better gas mileage you get, obviously the less emissions are going to be polluting our air. Having a clean air filter will help your gas mileage, getting regular tune-ups, and obviously carpooling. Also, aerosol cans. I was very depressed to have to get rid of my scrubby bubbles for the bathroom, but I did it. So try and stay away from aerosol cans. They do make pledge wipes. Try and use something more like a spray bottle. So that's obviously better for air. So what are some of the other things that we can do to counteract the air pollution that we're creating with our cars? There's a couple great ways to offset that. The first way is electricity. Again, I have to blame Dad for this one. The light bulbs. Instead of using incandescent light bulbs, yeah, we switched all of them. Instead of using incandescent light bulbs, a good way to use them, or good light bulbs to use, are complex fluorescent light bulbs. They are less than half the wattage, and they are brighter, and they last longer. So those are a fabulous way to conserve electricity. Also, I can't tell you how many times I was told this as a kid, when you leave the room, turn off the lights. If you're done with the TV, turn it off. Don't just leave it on. Another great way is to, Other dad on that one. Shut off your power strips at night. You're not using that stuff anyway. It sucks up electricity when it's on, so just turn it off at night. So those are great ways to conserve electricity. I know people with houses can recycle. Well, unfortunately, Josh and I don't have that option in the apartment, so what are other creative ways you can recycle? The amount of bottled water consumption in this country is amazing. It's like billions of gallons a year. So instead of just throwing away your bottle, fill it up. So that way you're not throwing away plastic bottle after plastic bottle. Also, buying recyclable goods is excellent. Tonight, when we eat our sandwiches and chips, we will be eating them on completely renewable and natural resources. They're 100% biodegradable. I'll even read you what they're made out of. Corn, potatoes, and limestone. So technically you can eat your plate. I can't imagine limestone's tasty, so I don't really suggest that, but it's an option if you're really desperate to be regular. Okay. Sorry, Betcha. So those are some small steps and changes you can make in your personal life. I want to challenge everybody in this room to pick 3 things. They can be small things that you do to affect the path we're taking as far as pollution and conserving our resources, because this is a big problem, and it's not a big problem later on. It's a big problem now, and it's only getting worse. And the United States is one of the key contributors in a lot of this pollution. We're #1, guys, on that. So this is something we need to change right now. So I challenge everybody to pick at least 3 things that they can do in their personal life to affect the pollution that we're giving off. And I, for one, have made some of those sacrifices, but, you know, the bottom line is I'm tired of making the microwave worse than overcooking our earth. So there you go.
Yeah.
Global warming.
You didn't